situation, but man, he is like I have him in the league that we're playing against, and I can't even use him this week, so that hurts. Stafford not looking good to play. Looks like Chase Daniel's going to start. That's going to hurt every Lions player, with the exception, in my opinion, of DeAndre Swift. Thing about Chase Daniels, man, he's very conservative. He checks down a lot. He's not a big deep ball thrower, although he did have a nice pass to Marvin Jones that didn't get called for that tutty. But I do like DeAndre Swift, even with Chase Daniels. You got Noah Fanta. He's not practicing with a non-COVID illness. Hollywood Brown, which is more like Piedmont, North Dakota Brown. He's placed on the COVID list today. Ronald Jones also on the COVID list, so that leaves Fournette, McCoy, and Vaughn. That backfield's too dicey to play, in my opinion, even with Rojo healthy. Alexander Madison, sidelined with an appendix issue. You're really not playing him unless Cook is out, which he's not. So you got Santa's favorite reindeer, Kyle Rudolph. He missed practice today with a foot injury. Looks like Edelman's back at practice. Big one is George Kittle was actually activated from IR. He's a long shot to play for Week 15, but if you have him in leagues and you're going to be in that championship game, that could be huge.
I mean, unless you have one of the other top two, that you have to play him.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I know you could be scared that, hey, he's just coming back. He probably won't be as good, but I can tell you with how shitty the tight end position is this year, unless you have Kels or you have Waller, he's your next play. He has to be.
You know, George Kittle is slowly reminding me of Rob Gronkowski, where just the style of play that he plays, how he's such a bruiser.
Yeah.
I feel like each year he's going to be questionable with injuries.
Well, you know what he does that a lot of the other tight ends can't do is he fucking blocks.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's lost in today's game is, like, you got all these, like, Evan Ingram, perfect example. He can fucking run a route like a receiver, but guess what he can't do? He can't help you block.
I heard that's critical to run the ball.
Yeah, it's quite critical.
DJ Moore looks like he's going to play Week 15. Alex Smith did not practice Wednesday. So with Dwayne Haskins, that's going to suck. Antonio Gibson, unlikely to play. Mike Gesicki missed practice. That was a gruesome injury with his shoulder. Julio Jones, now week to week with a hamstring. In my opinion, Falcons, just shut him down. Shut him down. I mean, he's your star wide receiver. Whether you bring him back or next year or not, this guy's been nagging a hamstring injury all damn year. Kenny G, Galladay missing practice again. Totally not even fantasy relevant. John Brown off of IR. I like that one a little bit. James Conner dealing with a quad injury. I don't really care, because that guy's been the biggest fantasy disappointment. That dude was going in third rounds guaranteed this year. You know, he posted those pictures of him on social media of how he beefed up like a beefcake. And he's falling like a cream puff. You know?
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert, he underwent an MRI on his ankle. And then you got Brandon Trade Me Again Cooks. He's actually expected back this week. And last but not least, you got Devontae Parker, uncertain to play this week. So that's a lot. Go ahead.
That is a lot. Parker, I think I read was a long shot.
Yeah.
To probably play this week.
He laid me a dud.
He's
the reason I lost one league. I needed 6 points, bro. And he laid an egg because he got hurt.
I mean, yeah. That's how, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, dude.
Would you rather have him laid you an egg, though, but stayed healthy, though?
I'm just saying, like, Dolphins, get his ass in the game in the red zone, throw him a touchdown, let me get my 6, and then sit his ass. Like, stop being stingy, bastards.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I gotta say about the NFL is they do not care about our feelings.
They really don't.
They really fuck things up for us. Especially those coaches that believe in backfields by committee. What a ruin to fantasy football that has been.
I want to talk about Josh Jacobs for a second, because I subbed him out in one league. I still won, luckily, but 1 minute he's a game time decision, looks like he's going to play. Cool, everything looks good, he's in my lineup. Then I get a notification, Josh Jacobs tweets he's not playing today.
Yeah, he did that on purpose to fuck with people. Yeah.
Like, what an
They
asshole.
talked about it during the game that they were laughing their asses off. That how many people that he probably got with that too.
Yeah, I took him out of my lineup. I put J.D. McKissick in. It was pretty much a wash for a point value, but still, like, don't do that to me, Josh. Like, I took you in the second round. I took J.D. off a waiver wire.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I'm glad is I never even saw that notification come in, so he was still in my lineup and had a great day. Yeah. And I can tell you, the guy I would have placed in there, had maybe a quarter of the points he ended up having. So I'm glad I missed that tweet. I'm very glad.
Yeah, I was so pissed. But yeah, just listen, Mama didn't raise no quitter. Fantasy football is all about how you adjust. I can tell you my rankings this week. So I have 32 running backs. Excuse me. I have 32 running backs that I easily think will get over 10 points in a PPR fantasy this week. But let's take a look at some of these juicy Week 15 matchups, starting with tomorrow's tequila, and not just any tequila, top shelf tequila, the good stuff, the cream of the crop, the holy grail. What was it in Sandlot? What did he say? Where they were talking about the baseball?
Oh, the Great Bambino?
Yeah, the Great Bambino.
The Colossal of Clout?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The Colossal of Clout. Man,
and his little brother, the Colossal of Clout?
Yeah.
He says the same thing his older brother says every time.
Yeah, but you got the Chargers versus those formerly known as the Oakland Raiders to start out.
So that would be the Las Vegas Raiders at this point.
Yeah, that's right. I just like, formerly known, in case anyone's listening from Oakland.
Yeah.
Like, I still care about you.
And honestly, with the Washington football team, I barely call them Washington football team. I like how you put your pinky out with your beer sip there. That was quite classy.
I'm a classy broad.
You are a classy broad. I like it. It turns me on a little bit. I still call them the Washington Redskins in all my conversations with friends. Like, it's such a hard habit. It is not the same. A team with no name is one of the dumbest fucking things ever.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like, why can't you just put names in a hat? Do what we do for fantasy drafts. Yeah. I put names in a bucket with cards 1 through 10 in a bucket, and I just pick it. Like Washington.
They should have came up with 10 names and just fucking picked one out of a bucket. Give me something. Exactly. Even if it's just temporary for this year, it's better than a team with no name.
Seriously.
Although it did make it quite funny when they beat Pittsburgh to say, hey, Pittsburgh lost to a team with no name.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That was. I mean, with the Giants' quarterback issues now at this point, and them not being able to stick to their game plan, I think that's going to be an easy... I think Washington has a good shot of taking this division at this point.
Yeah, I agree. With the understanding Alex Smith is the quarterback.
Well, right. If Dwayne Haskins has to play, then I don't think they have a shot now. I don't think... Just like the Giants, the defense will not carry you to that division. Whereas, I mean, honestly, in all honesty, with everything in that division, the Dallas Cowboys are the most talented roster. They are. They have the most talent. But they've been struggling to stop people, and their quarterback play is, I mean, obviously without Dak. But we'll talk about that when we get to Dallas.
All right. So let's start out with tomorrow. You got the Chargers versus the Raiders.
Yeah.
Looks like Raiders' offense is ranked 12th in the league. Rushing is 12th.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what that's going on. I'm not watching porn. But you got the Raiders' rushing offense is number 12 in the league. Yeah. Just looking at it as far as what they're giving up to running backs from the Chargers. Yeah,
I mean,
what do you think of Josh Jacobs?
This last time these guys played, it was 31-26. Raiders beat the Chargers, so it was a 5-point game. It was a close game. Chargers didn't have Austin Eckler in this game, and this one's going to be in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. But I honestly like the Chargers here in this game.
To win it?
To win the game. I really do. I think the Raiders have struggled too much. I think they've shown too much inconsistency. I think they're going to run the ball well. I think they're going to score some points. But honestly, as far as rankings goes, the Chargers beat them everywhere except for the rushing. So if the Chargers defense can stop Jacobs a little bit, I mean, I like Jacobs' chance of having a decent day, but I think if the Chargers stop Jacobs a little bit, I think the Chargers are going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, Raiders number 4 in the league, third worst team when it comes to opposing running backs. So Austin Eckler should be in for a pretty solid day.
I hope.
Yeah, I know you do.
I hope.
Because
you excited me a little while ago. You told me that Matt Stafford might not be playing because there goes your tight end possibility.
I know. Seriously. But yeah, so I mean, Raiders, they've given up 16 tutties this year, 2 receiving. They're allowing a 23.7 points to opposing fantasy running backs. So
nice.
That's third worst in the entire NFL. So Eckler should have a pretty good game, but Derek Carr should also have a good game. And every time you think he's going to have a good game, he gets you -1.
Yeah. I mean, Raiders' offense in the league is ranked 14th total. Chargers are ranked 8th. The defense of the Chargers is ranked 9th. And the Raiders defense is a horrible 25th. So they're at the bottom level. Passing overall, the Chargers are 4th in the league. So against the 25th ranked defense, you would think that they shouldn't have any problem getting Keenan Allen the football, or maybe even Hunter Henry the football.
Yep.
And then obviously Eckler out of the backfield. They love doing that. So I think that too much of the rankings, I mean, the Chargers have done too many things well, where the Raiders have only really, really looked good when they've played the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've been inconsistent. I mean, they fucking only won against the Jets. Yeah, because of the dumbest call and all-out blitz. I mean, great. I like being aggressive, but there's a difference between being aggressive and being stupid.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Listen, I got Herbert outside my top 10 this week as far as fantasy quarterbacks. I actually like Jalen Hurts ahead of him, which we'll talk a little bit about that matchup later on. But, with Herbert, listen, he's almost come down to earth from his fantasy relevance that he really led a lot of people into the playoffs. He's actually pulled it back a little bit. I still think with you, I see this game being, 31-27. I actually think it's going to be a pretty entertaining game.
I agree.
But there's a lot of fantasy relevance. I mean,
you got Josh Jacobs, you got Austin Eckler, you got Keenan Allen, you got Waller, and you got Herbert. All fantasy. I mean, Herbert might not be, but somebody might be rolling with him in the playoffs because it's who you have. I mean,
and I even like Hunter Henry.
Oh yeah, I mean you got Hunter. How could I forget Hunter Henry?
Yeah,
at a thin tight end position, you can't forget about Hunter Henry.
No doubt. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a pretty strong matchup. Pretty excited to see that one, actually. But I do hope Austin Eckler maybe gets concussed in pregame warmups. Maybe an offensive lineman misses an assignment, he gets popped. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hey, man, enjoy that Mai Tai.
What is that? It's not to say. Is it just all mixed together?
It's coconut rum. Yeah, it's delicious. It feels so good once it hits your lips.
It does. It is quite refreshing, I gotta say. You know what makes it, though? Is the hard straw.
You're welcome.
You really love me today, don't you?
All right, so then Saturday, which I actually love Saturday games, to be honest with you. You got Buffalo against the Broncos. I'm telling you now, Stephon Diggs going to torch that secondary.
I agree. And that's what scares me a little bit, because you have Josh Allen. I'm really hoping Denver shows up. And I mean, they've given some games the last couple of weeks. Denver has. They showed up. Not that they've won them, but they've been in them. I'm kind of hoping I see that with Buffalo. But damn, Buffalo is a solid roster. I mean, just on both sides of the ball, Josh Allen has continued to prove that he can be the guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's fantasy relevant, which is always good. We always love when we can get another quarterback into play for fantasy. So that way, those guys that are taking quarterbacks in the end of the first round, early second round, we can just laugh at them while we grab somebody like Josh Allen in the fifth.
Yeah. I think I grabbed Josh in a lot of my leagues in like the 14th round.
Well, yeah, I mean, at that point, yes. But next year, he's going to be one that'll go 5th, 6th round, you would think.
I'll tell you, next year, and I keep going back to him, and I'm just saying, if Eagles commit to Jalen Hurts as being their starting quarterback, I see Kyler Murray in him. I think Kyler still has a better arm, but I think the potential of Kyler Murray is there. I see Jalen Hurts as this year's like Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Someone no one's going to pick. He's going to be available on waivers.
Yeah.
And when he gets into the game, he's just going to do really, really well next year. That's my opinion.
So, I mean, going off of that, I can see it too. I agree with you. But here's one thing I want to say about Kyler, that you bring Kyler up, because it just came into my head as I watched the Giants. I mean, obviously they're Arizona crushed the Giants, which I had a feeling was going to happen anyways. Yeah. But watching Kyler Murray, I don't know that he's going to last. And this is a hot take. This is completely left field. I don't think he's going to last in the NFL. And you know why?
Shorter career, him or Lamar?
Shorter career?
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Okay.
And you know why? Because I don't think he can handle the hits.
Is it because he's 3.5 feet tall?
That's exactly what it is. I mean, the people that are hitting him are large. I mean, most of the guys that are hitting him are double his size.
Yeah.
And granted, I mean, it happens to guys. It's the way it is. But I've watched him in those games. I've watched him take those hits. He doesn't do well with it.
Yeah.
He's always limping. He's getting crushed by these big, large human beings. Granted, yeah, he's faster than every single person on the field. But when that hit does come, I think he's more susceptible to the season-ending or the career-ending type hit just because of his body size.
Yeah. See, I'm going to fade you on that. I actually think it's Lamar, only with the fact that Lamar cannot throw the ball. I see Lamar being almost like a Colin Kaepernick. Like, he's going to have a couple of good years. He's going to be flashy. Can run the ball. He was very impressive against Cleveland after he took his poop.
Hey, sometimes you just get